In this tutorial, you will learn how to update the firmware on your Argon R1. You may want to do this to take advantage of performance or stability patches released for the product. Let's begin by downloading the latest firmware. Open an internet browser and go to argonr1.com. Then go to Drivers and SDK. At the bottom of this page is a download link for the firmware along with the version of this firmware. Click the firmware link to download the firmware, press Open, and drag the enclosed file to the desktop. Now you can close Internet Explorer. The tool we will use to deploy firmware updates to the .NET Micro Framework boards is called Micro Framework Deploy, or MF Deploy for short. This file is in Program Files, Microsoft.NET Micro Framework, version 4.2, Tools. Open MF Deploy. At this point we can plug in our Argon R1. We can change the device target type to be USB as we are connected over USB. The name Argon R1 should appear in the targets box when the board is recognised by Windows. At this point we can see what firmware we have on the Argon R1 board to see if we actually need to upgrade the firmware. Go to Plugin, Debug, Show Device Info. The version is displayed here. You can see it is version 4.2.0.0, lower than the firmware we've just downloaded. This means we should upgrade the board with the downloaded firmware. Click Browse, select the hex file we just downloaded, press Deploy. The board will reboot and begin to upload the latest firmware. Once the firmware has been uploaded, unplug your Argon R1 board and then reconnect it. To check the firmware update was successful, show the device info again. The solution build info number should now be the latest version. You've successfully upgraded your Argon R1 firmware.